So I read an article where someone was talking about The Wrestler and Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler and how he looks in The Wrestler, looking similar to the way he looks in reality and when that movie came out to the way he looks in this movie with the prosthetics on.
That's really cruel.
Right.
But wait,
unnecessary.
Are you letting yourself off the hook for insulting Mr. Mickey Rourke in such a fashion?
I don't understand. I don't understand why we have to constantly make apologies for someone else doing something to themselves and all of us seeing it. It's not anyone's fault. None of us did it. For me, I just don't understand why anyone would be like, let me reference a movie from 1989 when we're talking about this guy's Oscar-worthy performance. That's more the thing that bugs me, because it's what is the point of any of this?
You're saying in critical analysis, when people are drawing comparisons to the way he looks now versus the way he used to look, that's a faux pas on their part? That shouldn't be part of their assessment of the film at hand?
I think it's unnecessary given how low-hanging fruit this would kind of seem.
100%, of course. And at the same time, I think we can all understand the impulse that 1980s Mickey Rourke was one of the most beautiful human beings to ever walk the planet. And so it feels like a tragedy. We don't need to fucking shout about it.
Right. And that's the thing. It's not needed. And yes, it is kind of ironic that this movie is about a guy with a new face who looked, again, just the way that they portray it in this movie, I think we're going to have a lot to say about. But on this episode of the Kulturecast, I am still your host, Chris Stachiw, much to the chagrin of many, and I'm joined by my good friend. He's one of the hosts of Noise Junkies, the host of Dark Destinations, the host of plenty podcasts over on the Weirding Way Media Network, your friend and mine, Father Malone.
Hey, Mama made lemon jam.
On this episode of the Kulturecast, we're talking about a little film. If you don't know what we're talking about already by the quotes that Father Malone has already thrown out there, kind of, I guess, one of the more well-known ones, we're talking about a Mickey Rourke film from 1989 titled Johnny Handsome.
Nobody believed in Johnny Handsome.
I know who you are and I know what you are. Nothing but a cheap crook.
Until a miracle changed his life.
I will give you a new face and a chance at a new life.
Now it's time for Johnny to believe in himself.
Why don't you give me a little hint, baby? Help me remember who you are.
You got a shot at a better life. You can't just throw that away.
Johnny Handsome, rated R.
So the film is directed by Walter Hill, based on a screenplay by Ken Friedman, based on a book, The Three Worlds of Johnny Handsome by John Gotti, and this movie stars Mickey Rourke as the titular Johnny Handsome, a man with I'm just going to say disfigured face, because that's what the movie says, who after a robbery gone wrong has reconstructive surgery to turn into Mickey Rourke.
Yes.
And Lance Henriksen is the bad guy. And he goes after the crew that betrayed him. Sort of. That's sort of the movie. There's a lot of other stuff. That's part of this movie.
It's a cornucopia of a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. And, we're going to be talking about it on this episode. So Father Malone, I'm going to kick it to you first. When did you see this? More than likely, you're going to say in the theater.
I saw this I think it came out in August of 1989.
September 29th.
September 20. I saw this on September 29th, 1989. I was 16 years old. I was a 1000% Walter Hill fan. The Warriors and 48 Hours and on and on. And his films had by then kind of stumbled a little bit, had gotten a bit too formulaic, a bit too Hollywood. Red Heat. I mean, Extreme Prejudice was at least an attempt at. Well, he was just remaking The Wild Bunch with John Milius' script, but
I do love Red Heat. I love that movie. But,
right, as a companion piece to Commando, it's a good movie. As a Walter Hill movie, it's very disappointing.
That's fair.
Johnny Handsome, on the other hand, is not disappointing. I was on your Angel Heart episode, and you already well know my adoration for Mickey Rourke. So here's Mickey Rourke in a Walter Hill movie, and it's 1989. And what else came out in '89 with Walter Hill? I'm waiting for an answer, Stachiw.
Is it? I mean,
The Man Who Was Death, same year.
That's right. That's right.
same everything, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Oh my God. This was the Walter Hill sweet spot. This kind of neon, garish, gritty, working class. It's
Ry Cooder.
Ry Cooder, who's just like, he's just the voice of Walter Hill, Ry Cooder's music. In particular in this movie, it's fantastic. I mean, we'll get to all this, but anyway, so that's when I saw it, because I couldn't imagine a better moment in cinema at that moment for me than Mickey Rourke and Walter Hill making a movie together, and Lance Henriksen is in it. Holy shit! And the cast just keeps getting better and better. See, we're giving short shrift to the fact that Ellen Barkin is fucking awesome in this movie, and Morgan Freeman is in this movie, and Forrest Whitaker is in this movie. It's stacked with like a murderer's row of talent. Nevertheless, I came out feeling underwhelmed and sort of disappointed in a way that I hadn't been with Red Heat, because Red Heat was just a bullshit Commando ripoff, and this was very close to classic Walter Hill, and I didn't understand what went wrong. That was 16-year-old me. I actually think it's a really good movie. The problems I had when I was a kid, I persist, but I've now sort of given into the flow of the movie. I think it's a really good movie. I just have problems with the third act.
Yeah. So going back to the Angel Heart episode, I had seen very little Mickey Rourke movies, very little being essentially zero. And so this is on a very long list of movies to watch that have Mickey Rourke in them, that also have a bunch of other people like Lance Henriksen in it that I am a huge fan of, and Ellen Barkin, who's like not in enough things that I've seen. I don't know. She's in Buckaroo Banzai. She's like the manic pixie dream girl of your dreams in that movie. Here she's better suited for fucking Tales. This is like a Tales from the Crypt episode. It's like there's so much of this movie that is just like, it feels like the worst things from Tales from the Crypt that we always complained about, just like some of the most set bound ass things I've ever seen.
No, I disagree.
It's like I'm not saying all of it. There are some that really are, though. Like,
Oh yeah. Look, yes.
But it's but that's what reminds me of Tales from the Crypt. And like the story is also very Tales from the Crypt. Like, hello, kiddies. This is a man with a fucked up face. Whatever. Like, I can already see the Crypt Keeper like going on.
Chainsaws involved during this revenge scheme. Like, it would have 100% been a Tales from the Crypt.
Right. And so the problem I think I ultimately feel with this movie, and the thing that I have an issue with, is not the performances. It's not the actors. It's the execution of the idea. And the third act is it's a real mess.
It's a mess.
It's like, and like, I think it's honestly a mess because the whole movie is a mess, but the first two acts of the movie are entertaining messes enough that I can overlook how much of a mess they are. But then the third act just goes, well, we kind of don't know what to do here. So, a gunfight in a cemetery, sort of.
No, it's the worst.
It's really bad. It's like James Bond Spectre level of just like, you have taken a great movie and fucked it in the third act so bad that it makes me question if this was a good movie to begin with.
I don't know who this quote is attributed to, and I'm probably paraphrasing it anyway, but somebody said, no matter how clever your action movie or innovative it might be, it still comes down to two guys punching each other, right?
Right.
That's the problem with most action movies. I think, had that problem been solved, we're just standing in a graveyard yelling at each other and kicking the shit out of each other and shooting each other, had it been a more dynamic ending, then I wouldn't have had any qualms in saying, yeah, that's a good movie with a couple of problems. But because it devolves into the most basic of actioner tropes, it sullied the movie in my mind for a lot of years. I've gotten over it. Those first two acts, they are a crazy mess, but it is a perfect kind of a mess. This movie jumps genre to genre sort of effortlessly. It starts off as this crime movie, and then it turns into this prison movie, and then it's this hospital rehabilitation thing, like an actual medical, like nuts and bolts medical drama where we're watching the progress of his surgery, and then it becomes a rehabilitation thing, and then it becomes a new life movie, and it becomes
kind of a romance.
Yeah, man, and I like this guy. Like, I like John Sedley, or John Mitchell, eventually. So, that's why the third act is so frustrating, because there's no problem skipping from mess to mess like they've been doing. But don't go to if you're going to, it's not like they're innovating each of the genres they're showing us. The innovation is that they're just moving so effortlessly between them, but you need a much better ending than the standard tough guy, open the thing or I'll shoot your girl kind of bullshit, Well, and that, I think for me, I'm not sure that the genre jumping works for me as well as it works for you. And I think that's because I'm not super engaged with Mickey Rourke in this really goofy prosthetic. And he's just like sitting there and he's doing... I haven't seen a thing yet where Mickey Rourke's not doing a thing. Do you know what I mean? Mickey Rourke does things.
I know, which is the thing that's like, I think that's what makes him Mickey Rourke. And that's the thing that it's like, he's like Nick Cage. He does things almost always. He's doing a thing.
Listen. Okay,
and it took me a long time to get there with Nick Cage, is what I'm saying.
Nick Cage is a much more histrionic performer.
For sure.
And I think Mickey Rourke is, I think all of his performances are equally soulful, and they might, veer into some sort of tics here and there, but
oh yeah.
It's interesting. It's always interesting. I look at I say this about everyone. Your mileage may vary, but for me, he's aces.
I guess for me, it's always just hard for me to get on board immediately with someone who swings as hard as Mickey Rourke is being asked to swing in this movie.
He's pretty subtle at the beginning, though. When he's doing John Handsome, when he's doing pre-reconstructive surgery freak.
I think that's the best version of the character.
Yeah, I agree. Because it's all soul.
Yeah, and when he's just Mickey Rourke, I think honestly when he's just Mickey Rourke in this movie is when the movie just kind of starts to slowly fall apart.
Through no fault of Mickey Rourke.
No. I just think the movie doesn't know what to do with what it's doing.
No, it doesn't. Have you read the book?
No.
See, John Gotti happened to write a novel that was adapted into one of my top 5 favorite films of all time, which is The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Right.
So I had seen that, so I rushed out and got the book as soon as I had freaked out over the movie, and saw next to it The Three Worlds of Johnny Handsome, and I went, hey, that's that movie. So grabbed that as well. The book is it's broken into 3 acts like this, so you get the 3 different portions of Johnny's life.
Right.
But it starts with the 3rd act. So it starts with this handsome stranger inveigling his way into the lives of these criminals.
Interesting.
Got a score. And then the 2nd act, we get the story of Johnny Handsome, who was this deformed guy who goes to prison, and
right.
And then back and back to the end. But interestingly, Sonny's character is virtually nothing in the book. She's there, but she has virtually no role to play. Instead, the Rafe character is split into 2 other characters who I'm not sure. One, I believe, is named Tully, but I'll never forget the other one. It's Jappy.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So those 2 characters got combined into both Rafe and Sonny, honestly. So that was an interesting change.
Oh my God, I'll tell you, man, the Sunny character, the Ellen Barkin character she's great in this, obviously.
Yeah.
It is a shame I haven't seen her in enough things because she has a really strange energy is all I can say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. An incredibly strange energy, otherworldly, almost energy to her. Walter Hill apparently told her, because she wanted the part, and he said, your career's going pretty well. I don't think you want to be doing this movie? And she was like, fuck you, I'm doing the movie. So, clearly she was meant to play the part.
So Lance Henriksen in this movie.
Kind of wasted, don't you think?
Yeah, that's kind of, you beat me to it. That's what I was going to ask you. It's like he's really, I wouldn't say blink and you miss him, but it's just I don't want to say Lance Henriksen has an oeuvre in the 80s for playing this kind of role, but the Brian Bosworth movie, I'm sure we could go back and forth and name a couple more.
This character is a carbon copy of Jesse Hooker from Near Dark. You know?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that one because that's the one that I like. That's the one that all of those other ones were just ripped off of, like, including the Brian Bosworth movie where he's just playing another dude with a leather jacket. Like, okay, like,
isn't there a helicopter and a motorcycle flying into a helicopter at the end of that movie?
Think so. I like Lance Henriksen a lot. It's just action star Lance Henriksen. Like,
what about Hard Target?
Never seen it.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Never seen it.
He's good in that. Him and his number one hunting pal Arnold Vosloo.
Oh my God. Okay, I would watch that in a heartbeat.
Henriksen hunting veterans through the swamps. Like, they should have been the heroes of that movie. See, there was the problem. They should have made Van Damme the villain. Like, they were doing a whole thing and hunting him down.
Is that the movie where he has like the ringlets?
Yes, you'll understand when you see the movie.
Oh my God. That's the other thing. Like, what I can't figure out is because this movie is so genre all over the place, I can't figure out what movie this genre is trying to be, or what genre this movie's trying to be, I guess is what I mean.
This movie is a noir.
Is it?
It is, actually. It is 100% a noir. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the face thing is the real noir thing, right? Like, oh, he's got a new face. Like, okay.
Melodrama. Like, Walter Hill complained about this movie sort of endlessly. Two things I don't like. I love Walter Hill, but the two things I don't like about Walter Hill. One is every interview he gave about this movie at the time, he kept saying how he had turned it down like 4 times. Just like bragging about that. Like, okay, great.
And why did you do it the 4th time?
Yeah, man. What he said in the interview was he turned it down because he didn't think audiences would buy into the face surgery thing. Because it was melodrama. That's how he described it. And he said, and over the years, I came to the idea that all movies are melodrama. So, like, why not embrace it?
Wow. How deep?
Yeah, I guess. So that's the one thing. And then, obviously he's trying to take Mr. O'Bannon's name off of that Alien script. Wasn't a cool movie either there, Walter.
Well, that's the other thing that always like trips me up about Walter Hill. It's just, I always feel like the things that I've seen of his, it's like, oh, there's that other good thing that he did. And it's like, it was like, for me, it was like, I saw 48 Hours and The Warriors. But like all the other things that I've seen are just okay.
Well,
and again, like, I know how much you like Walter Hill. It's just like this, I enjoyed this, but I don't think I would go out of my way to watch this movie again because of the melodrama stuff. For me, was just not really something I like. The melodrama part of the movie was like the medical stuff with Forrest Whitaker's character. Like, most of the stuff with Forrest Whitaker's character for me was just, I was really not interested in that aspect of that aspect of the movie. Just didn't engage me the way the rest of the movie did.
That's too bad. I like that part of the movie a lot.
But you can totally understand why it doesn't, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, look, if you're not digging the genre jumping that this movie is laid down, then yeah, you're not going to like that. This is suddenly a series of suddenly it's Goodwill Hunting, like this psychiatrist and his patient.
Right.
Got to admit that when he tells the story about how all the kids were laughing at him, that Johnny don't need no mask on Halloween, and he says, "So what did you do?" I beat the shit out of him. You can write that down. That's great.
Right. No, and that's
enjoyed that scene.
Yeah, no, that I enjoyed that scene. No. But again, like, I just think for me, the issue with the movie is they went too hard. Like, this movie's an hour and a half. They went a little too much with the stuff in the hospital, and I felt like it kind of slowed the movie down for me, almost to a crawl. And like, I get that it's supposed to be this big character building moment with Mickey Rourke's character, but just again, like, I felt like I just wasn't I don't know, maybe I just wasn't as engaged in that moment as I should have been, but it just felt like the movie just, it kind of failed in the part of the story where it's supposed to humanize him. It's like, I don't think I necessarily needed to feel him be humanized. Like, I think the movie had already done a good enough job that it didn't have to keep doing it. I was more interested in the things he was going to get himself into when he was with the new Mickey Rourke face. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Gathering my thoughts. I think that what you're describing as it's slowing the movie down, just like I feel like the major problems in the movie would have been resolved had the last scene been good. I think in your case, had they had a top to tail good third act, it would have made those sequences not feel so slow. It would have felt more earned, because to me, the ultimate problem with this movie is Walter Hill's take on that novel is a tiger can't change his stripes.
Right.
You are who you are. You aren't made. You are who you are. You are defined by your actions, not by your past. Walter Hill, that's kind of an across the board machismo, sort of lean in Walter Hill kind of an attitude. And
there's only one outcome here for your story. Like,
right. And because he sort of approaches it with that level of fatalism, you can't ever really engage with Johnny because the choices are no longer his. The problem for me with the movie is that there is not a moment where Johnny agonizes over one life versus another.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, they humanize him, but then they don't. Like, they do enough early on for me to be like, I can understand the journey he's going to go on. And then they humanize him in this hospital scene, but it ultimately doesn't pay off because we don't get to learn who he ends up being as this new person, because they've sacrificed so much time to front load it. But those things end up not mattering in the second part, because the second part is just, it's such a different, like the second half of the second act and all the third act feel like a completely different idea altogether.
Yeah, it feels like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way, in that Walter Hill didn't trust that middle portion of the movie. And so he wanted to keep it running quickly, and he wanted it actiony, and he wanted it, thrilling. And so it ends up kind of delivering that. It makes that middle portion seem less important than it actually is. It's the heart of the movie. But it doesn't deliver the payoff for that storyline. This group of people who are all behind him and trying to give him this new life. Like, he engages with them almost till the end, but not really. We don't feel their impact on him when he finally makes the decision. I don't care about this life. I just want these people dead.
Right. And that to me is a missed opportunity, because what the fuck? Like, I don't know. Like, there's that weird Walter Hill machismo shit. Just, it gets in the way here. It gets in the way of telling a compelling full story for him.
It does. It's weird because, I mean, look, this is ultimately just a Walter, not just a Walter. This is ultimately a Walter Hill film. So, and what makes a lot of this movie great is Walter Hill.
Right.
The stuff that I think works in the screenplay, he's got his hand on it, even though Ken Friedman wrote the script, but it's still based on the Gotti novel. By the way, a Gotti novel set in New Jersey.
I like Mickey Rourke in New Orleans.
Too. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, that works because Walter Hill said, I'll do it, but I'll do it in New Orleans, because that's what a noir would look like nowadays.
Right. Is New Orleans. And Mickey Rourke works in New Orleans for whatever reason.
100%. You know what? A thing I really liked in the movie is some characters have the accent, some do not.
Yeah.
And that feels real and lived in. Elizabeth McGovern's doing an awesome New Orleans accent, and Mickey Rourke has a touch of it, but a touch of it behind all of the impediments that he's working against.
Right. How did you feel? Because you haven't said to me how you feel about the prosthetics.
I think they're pretty good. They should have been better.
I think they're filmed in full lighting a lot for how okay they are.
And that is, geez, who do we blame there? Matthew Leonetti? I can't really blame him. He's a fucking awesome director of photography. I'm going to blame Michael Westmore, the makeup designer, because I know Rob would have been in Matthew Leonetti's ear and saying, you can't, the light is too, it's going to look fake if you're shooting it that bright.
Michael Westmore.
Yes, the forehead ridges own Michael Westmore. Face
Off's own Michael Westmore.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I have not seen Mask. but this is one of those kinds of makeups.
Yeah, exactly. And in that one, that character's walking around in full sunlight and it's fine.
Yeah.
That was years before this movie. This is 1989. Yeah, Walter Hill is working simultaneously on a television show that is producing excellent prosthetics.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
Yeah, I'm not beating up on this makeup job. I think it's,
but it's not. But I don't think it's good.
Could be better. But ultimately, I'm looking at the guy underneath that. I'm looking,
Well, the thing is, Mickey Rourke is so good in this movie.
Acts through that makeup and overcomes that makeup's limitations, not specifically physically, although he's doing that, but just the lackluster portion of that makeup.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. He makes the makeup work. I mean, more than it ever should have worked, especially in like broad daylight in the hospital scenes. Like he's full on just sitting there with a cigarette dragging out of his mouth under fluorescent light. Like they're not trying to hide anything.
Yeah. So again, not spectacular, but not a tragedy.
No. I mean, you can't get Eric Stoltz level, but yeah, I mean, again, it's not the worst that I've seen. I will say, speaking of things that are kind of unfortunate shortcomings of the movie, Morgan Freeman kind of wasted. Yeah. I feel like Forrest Whitaker kind of wasted too. Like Lance Henriksen kind of wasted. Like,
yeah, but look, okay, Lance Henriksen, yes, unquestionably,
yeah,
but he's great. Like, if you're going to have a nothing role, you might as well fill it with Lance Henriksen, who's just going to bring Lance Henriksen to the party.
Yeah, but it's Lance Henriksen.
I know, so you feel bad, but I don't feel bad because I just like seeing him as like another paint on this particular painting, like, another hue on the canvas. Like
looking very lanky too in this movie, like very long and limber.
Yeah, sinewy, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
He looks like he should be wielding a broad axe.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't look like the version of him that we're going to see in like 2 or 3 years in Tales from the Crypt.
No. Yeah, exactly. When he's cutting cards. He's looking pretty skeletal in that episode.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
I
agree with you. I think Morgan Freeman is a bit wasted, but just, like I said about the other, like Morgan Freeman's like great. I believe that guy, like, and I believe his obsession, and like, I hate that goddamn character. He's like Javert and Les Miserables, it's just, you're going to fuck up. I'm here to tell you, you're going to fuck up.
Right.
And then he comes back. Like, I loved when Forrest Whitaker confronts him, like, would you fucking lay off of him? Like, give him a chance, you prick.
Well, and then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
And that's Walter Hill's stamp on it. Because in the book, that character is just a crooked cop who's like maybe on the make, like maybe just wants money, like maybe isn't so interested in justice. And instead we get the voice of law and morality and like predestination in the form of Morgan Freeman here.
It's like a Grecian chorus.
Yeah, like and then
constant, just never shutting the fuck up. Like it's kind of a waste because they don't give him anything to do that's exciting. It's just the same thing in every scene.
And therein lies the problem, right? He keeps saying, "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to get a new face. You're going to fuck everything up. You're going to go after them, and you're going to kill them." And that's exactly what happens. And the really frustrating thing about that is Morgan Freeman shows up right before it all goes down and lets him go do it. Right. Why didn't he just go with him? Like, this is where the third act could have been. Maybe this is more formulaic and more of the melodrama that Walter Hill thinks he's working against here. But like, how about they hatched some plan? How about
why not
a payroll job? And we're going to be coming out of the payroll company. You might want to arrest these thieves.
I thought that's where the movie was going.
Nope, it's just going to be guys punching and stabbing and shooting
in a graveyard that looks like it's on the Tales from the Crypt set.
Yeah, that the graveyard didn't look great. It did look like a set, unfortunately.
It looked like see what I mean? Some of the worst parts of this movie look like the worst parts of Tales from the Crypt, and that is that whole cemetery, like that cemetery scene. I swear to God, Billy fucking Zane is off in the fucking corner somewhere getting ready to film Demon Night. Like again, like all jokes aside, like the third act of this movie, like it really works against everything good that the movie is doing.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because there's so much good going on.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Mickey Rourke seeing himself for the first time when he takes the bandages off. Good God, man. I love him.
Yeah. And, we haven't mentioned Scott Wilson, who shows up for 5 minutes effectively. He's pretty good too.
Yeah, younger and vital, and he's the prick who starts this whole thing. He fucks everything up for everybody. Mikey.
And I like the choice of doing the opening in black and white as well.
Yeah, again, sort of a tip of the hat to the noir thing, like we saw in Angel Heart. That basically begins in black and white. It's shot at night and it's all cold colors. Same thing. And
I do really like the way Mickey Rourke looks in the opening, and I feel like that's the thing. The makeup looks really good when it's just done black and white. It looks so good because you can't tell the seams or anything.
Maybe we should rewatch the movie with the color desaturated.
I wonder what it would look like in those scenes. If it would look better.
Now, very curious.
Because it does really look good in those opening scenes. It was really convincing. It's meant to be kind of hard to look at, intentionally. And in those opening scenes, it does that. The rest of the movie is just kind of I'm staring at a guy in a mask.
Well, not the rest of the movie, only half.
Right, whatever. The next, whenever it's outside of that and it's just him in broad daylight, it's just whoa. I don't know. If you have to have a really solid appliance if you're going to do broad daylight filming. Otherwise, you look like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly when he starts falling apart. That's what he reminded me of in those daylight shots. It's just it doesn't look pleasant. And I know that it's not meant to be pleasant, but it doesn't look real. It just looks like a guy in makeup.
It does a bit look like makeup, yes.
Yeah.
How about the idea that the two authority figures in this movie are black?
I appreciated that.
Not too shabby, Walter Hill. It's kind of funny to me, people talk about, obviously, there has forever been a representation problem in Hollywood, but it always seemed a little less in action movies and horror movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? John Carpenter always, Walter Hill was always, George Romero.
Yeah.
Just to reinforce it here, watching Forrest Whitaker and Morgan Freeman square off for a scene was a good reminder that these are the actual people in charge in this world.
Well, and I like when they have the real world butting into the story, like when he goes to the prison and he gets stabbed out in the yard.
Yeah.
And it keeps intercutting between the judge sending him to Angola and the jail scenes. Walter Hill, obviously he brings a lot to this movie in terms of shaping the narrative, but he also brings a lot to this movie in terms of just his style. Oh
yeah, their whole sequences, set to Ry Cooder's music, which is pretty great in this movie. And just montages of men doing manly things, I'm grinding this girder, whatever, they're in the shipyards and there's sparks flying everywhere. He makes all that stuff look great. It looks grimy and gritty and awful and yet beautiful.
Or the first person shot of walking down the jail cells and seeing kind of the close-ups of people's faces. He does it. Walter Hill gets a lot of mileage out of the things that he brings to the film just as the director that he is.
The opening robbery sequence is masterfully done, man. And switching up these styles, he keeps going to these weird fisheye lenses and extreme close-ups of faces and stuff. It's all very disorienting. Meanwhile, all the editing in that scene is fantastic. Freeman Davies has always been, I know there are a couple of collaborators on this one, but Freeman Davies has always been Walter Hill's editor, and he's never better than he is here, man. The shot to shot, it's a great sequence, and features oh my God, I don't know his name, but the third member of the gang. There's Sonny and Rafe, and then there's the actual good guys, which is Mikey and Johnny and the driver.
Oh, the Bob Ross looking guy.
Yeah, they're what happened to Johnny? That guy. If you've ever seen The Doors, he's the cop who comes on stage and takes the joint out of Jim Morrison's mouth. He's a stunt man. He's a stunt driver, and Walter Hill throws him in a lot of in a lot of acting roles.
That's fantastic.
And just like a stunt man, I hate to pick on him, but he oversells the motion of exploding that car when he lifts up the control stick to blow it up, and he jams his hand down like you needed hitting a button.
He's really excited, man, to blow that car up.
Not necessary, man. Just push the little button, flip the toggle.
Oh man, I actually I wish again. I wish there'd been more of the opening scenes. Like there'd been more robberies, and it hadn't been just they do the one job with them and then they turn on him. It'd been like one or two. Like like
ways that they could have. I mean, they took the book and just made it chronological, but there was something nice about the character having his face already changed, showing up and like becoming, and then you find out
that being part of it.
Yeah. And then the medical thing begins, and it's like, whoa, okay, that to me almost makes more sense. Might have helped some of this film's problem. Just more of like a mystery thriller kind of a thing at the beginning.
Yeah, because there's not a whole lot of mystery as to who he is.
Not for us.
No, he's the guy that we've seen from the start of the movie.
Okay, I love this movie. I will watch it again. I enjoy it. But in the third act it really is just a shambles because Johnny finally makes the decision. Okay, I'm going to go through with the plan. I'm going to get revenge for Mikey. Right?
He decides to not love Elizabeth McGovern, who's not great in this movie.
She's
She's not given anything to do, but that's why she's not great.
No.
It's not her fault. I'm not blaming Elizabeth McGovern.
She's not great in this movie, sir.
Yeah, she is not great because they didn't give her anything good to do.
Hey, her character is not good, but Elizabeth McGovern is really good in this movie.
Really?
I'll fight you.
Wow, okay.
I will fight you on that. She's great, man. I agree with you that her character is a bit of a nothing character. She's just there to give the character a complication before he barrels toward the predestined fate of being in cemetery. But his plan for getting in with these people is to just sort of show up at the bar and go, hey, Sonny, I know you. You know me. I got a job. Let's go do it. And then they're like, I don't know who this guy is. And then he lays the plan out and they're like, okay, yeah, sure. Let's do it. And he tells them, I know them. I know you because I was a jail cellmate with Johnny Handsome. And then Sonny asks the question we're all thinking, well, why would you want to trust us then? And he has no answer for that. Oh, I just don't know anybody else in town. First of all,
giant town of New Orleans.
First of all, sir, you have a New Orleans accent. Second of all, that means you know somebody. Second of all, why would they go along with this? He might be a cop.
I was going to say, boy, that guy sounds like Johnny Handsome, though. He still kind of sounds like him.
Oh, you would never expect the guy you got at the beginning of this movie. You give it like a year or two. Is the passage of time like really conveyed in this film? You got to figure those surgeries. That's like a year, right? At least. Year, 2 years.
But I don't know, like this again, like Walter Hill's world of magical realism. Like, are we holding this movie to reality, or are we just like playing like a noir movie where he's got a new face? See, cut that one off and put this one on, like
with Dark Passage, right?
Right, something like that. Yeah, where it's just like he's got a new face. Like I don't know, like the movie kind of like oscillates so much, I can't tell what the fuck it even wants to do about it.
That is true, and that is actually part of the charm, I contend.
I feel like it would have been a little bit more successful for me if it had just picked one of those tones and gone with one of those tones, as opposed to going with seemingly all of them all at once, or maybe not all at once, but in a way where, again, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a lot. It's just a lot all at once.
Here's what I think. I think you got to stop cooking the books. Anna.
That was pretty good.
Putting a neck out for you. She's a good kid,
I mean, that's the thing. Like, Mickey Rourke is so good, it does make me want to overlook how fucking dumb some of this movie devolves into.
There are some boneheaded moments.
It's just, it devolves into some stuff that the movie shouldn't have been making these decisions because it didn't need to go there.
No, it's unfortunate. The movie is really, really smart at the beginning.
Yeah.
And really compelling. And I liked that we were getting into this argument of, can he change?
Right, of course.
Massive disadvantage. Like, let's give him a whole new start. We get to see him enjoy it, but not really. Like, even from the beginning, like, I don't know. Ultimately, I know I already said it. The problem with the movie for me is we don't get further into his struggle of whether or not this new life is worth jettisoning.
Right. And if you like Elizabeth McGovern's character as much as you clearly do, and you probably would agree that that life that he would choose with her is better than the one that he chooses in the end. It just feels like a complete ding dong move too. It's like, I don't understand how you could even make this decision in good conscience, dude. Like, you were given the keys to the kingdom and you want to just go and be a complete fucking revenge monkey again? Like,
yeah, like, I don't want to say it could be solved with one character just saying that to him, but maybe it could have. Like,
it feels like it could have, doesn't it?
It's just dodging it. Again, it just feels like Walter Hill doesn't give a shit about that struggle. In Walter Hill's mind, there is no struggle.
And that for me is a problem because in my mind, that's the more compelling part of the story.
Like, he said he wanted to call this movie The Tragedy of Johnny Hansen.
Right.
Because it's tragedy. And in those Greek tragedies, there ain't no escaping what's coming for you.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, maybe
I don't like that aspect of the story because I don't feel like the story needs that kind of specific kind of thing is not needed here.
Right. But is that maybe just our outlook clashes with Mr. Hill's and so we can't accept it? Or is it that a character puts a gun in a suitcase filled with money and his plan is that this guy is going to ask him to open it because he's going to assume that the bag has been booby-trapped instead of just cutting the fucking bag open to get at the money with the giant knife in his hand?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand what his end game was in this, like, at all. To die? Like,
I don't think he cared if he lived or died. I think his plan was to kill them both and then take that money and then leave. Look, I just don't want to see you no more, Chris. All right?
Yeah, it's just so, God, I just don't get it. Like I said, it falls apart so hard that I've got to understand the way the book ends is what?
Kind of the same.
God, he had an opportunity to change it and he didn't even change it.
So it's a little bit more of a struggle for him internally, which is what I think is the missing ingredient.
Is there a version of this where he doesn't do that?
I would like to see that explored.
Same. Like, I would like to see the struggle explored. It's not really explored.
I know everyone says this about every property these days, but like, it's a book. You could make a 8 episode series out of this and really get into it and really explore those themes, because this isn't that movie. And I love the Walter Hill action movie that we got, but I think there's still something very profound to be mined from the themes that are actually running through this.
I would agree. I wish that I honestly, it just feels like the movie's not interested in talking about that. And that's the problem.
Yeah, it's Walter Hill isn't interested in talking about that. He's interested in a guy disguising himself and getting revenge.
It's like, and this isn't even that good of a story if that's what you're going for. It's not that great of a revenge flick. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's not really. It's really, it's the story that Mickey Rourke is telling without giving any scenes to do it.
That is what it honestly fucking feels like. It's like this movie, the fact that this movie is an hour and a half long is the most surprising part.
Yeah, it is a little bit shocking. I assumed it was 2. And because it covers so much ground, but knowing that you could have tacked another, like, not even like a half an hour. You've given me 15 minutes of stuff between Johnny and the girl, or Johnny and the nun, or Johnny and the doctor, or Johnny and the cop even. Let's have a real conversation, you and me. Why can't I change? Why won't you let me alone? Instead of just saying, like, because you're a bad guy and I know bad and you're bad. Bye.
Yeah, I don't like that. It makes the character of Johnny seem like an idiot. That's the problem. It's like all of a sudden this guy is a moron, right? Like,
makes a lot of boneheaded plays at the end. Yeah. Yeah. And it unfortunately colors the guy who was planning the heist because his friend needed him at the beginning.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like, what happened to you in between the opening and the close of this movie, other than the fact that you got a new face? Because, like, all of a sudden you act like a moron. Like, you got yourself into a position where you could even get revenge on these people, which takes a lot of know-how and thought to put yourself into that position. And yeah, you kind of did fall into the lap of a doctor who helped your face. But by the end of the movie, the character motivations feel so bizarre that it's just like, what was even the point of watching this guy's journey if he's not invested in staying alive? Like, because I never got the sense that he wanted to die along with these people.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I don't know. This isn't like the Wild Bunch. This isn't like the Last Stand, and like we might as well go down,
Right. And that's what I mean. Like, I would expect that from something like that, where that is what's going on, where it is one of those kinds of things where it's like, this guy has a fucking death wish, whatever. But then what's the point of giving this guy a new face then? Like, honestly, the whole point of giving the guy the new face ends up being what?
So he can enact revenge.
Right? Like,
understand?
That's the problem with this movie. It feels like it doesn't even know what it's been given. And so it's just kind of.
Maybe Walter should have turned it down.
Do what?
Maybe he should have turned it down a fifth time.
Yeah. Is there a good version of this, you think? It's just not this.
Okay, once again, I like this movie.
I know, but you know what I mean. Like,
there a great movie lurking in here that is waiting to come out. Like, I don't think they filmed that movie, so I don't think like you can cut it together from old footage or anything.
Right.
I think that great movie is there and can be made. Like, I think it rises above melodrama if you let it. If you just are thinking, well, it won't ever be beyond that, so I'll just stuff it in between these action sequences, then you got Johnny Handsome.
And there aren't even good action scenes. Like, that's the problem. It's not even an action movie.
The last sequence is a travesty. It's okay. I mean, it's well directed and everything, but like, it's not exciting. But I think the early action sequences are great. Like, I think that the first robbery is fantastic. I think the second robbery is done really well.
But it's too few and far between.
Right, because this isn't meant to be a big actioner. It's meant to be a psychological study.
And I just don't understand what
I end up to direct this movie.
Yeah, for real. Like, I just don't understand why it appealed to Walter Hill.
Well, maybe Red Heat didn't do so well.
Tough guy cinema with Walter Hill. Like, okay. I don't know. Like, if you want to watch a tough guy revenge movie, there've got to be better ones than this one.
You see Geronimo? Did you see his movie Geronimo? Good movie.
I'm surprised you haven't programmed a Walter Hill month for September one of these years.
I am too. I do love him so.
We would have watched this already, probably.
Well, expect it sometime.
I want to ask you, though, because I don't think we've ever talked about it. How do you feel about Walter Hill and the whole alien thing?
Well, I mentioned it earlier. It's the second thing I don't like about him.
But it's like a hard thing to overlook, right?
It's a really hard thing to overlook because I think he made actual really good contributions to that screenplay. I don't think that Dan O'Bannon wouldn't have gotten there because I think it's pretty well established. The script he wrote was meant for a low budget situation. And once
Beast, baby.
Once the funding and everything was set, then obviously Dan O'Bannon was going to rewrite that script. Like, it's Dan O'Bannon. He's going to go to town. But maybe he wouldn't have gotten to Space Truckers. And I think Walter Hill did bring Space Truckers to the table. So his contribution can't be overestimated. But trying to fucking hand a script off with your name on it and the original author's gone is a fucking bullshit move. I don't care who you are.
Well, and I'll tell you what, in those alien documentaries, Walter Hill isn't on them, but David Giler is. And Giler always strikes me as the real slippery turd of the bunch. So
on Hill, am I painting them both with the same brush? But you know what? They deserve it if they they're a team. Those two, at least for those alien movies, they were.
Right. Yeah, them and Gordon Carroll. So
fuck them all for that particular experience.
Yeah. Well, and especially, I mean, again, like, it happens all the time, but obviously with Alien.
Yeah. And I don't think there was any world in where he was going to not put Dan O'Bannon's name on the fucking movie, but still bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing about Walter Hill that is kind of hard to not stomach, but look at him and then look at the things that he's done. It's like, man, that really is like, that sucks. Like,
yeah, the Warriors.
It's true. Warriors is a classic.
Yes.
And he did Streets of Fire.
Yeah, man, I love Streets of Fire.
And he did Red Heat, which I'm not as opposed to.
Extreme Prejudice. Seen that one?
No, I have not.
That's all right.
Nick Nolte, neo-Western movie, eh?
Yeah, it's basically the Wild Bunch rewritten by modernized by John Milius. Like, I think he wrote it in 1975 or something like that. And it was just sitting around.
Oh, weird.
Did you see Trespass? Walter Hill's movie Trespass?
Is that the Bill Sadler movie? No.
You should watch that movie. We should watch that movie. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a Walter Hill month because that's written by Zemeckis and Gale.
It's got Bill Paxton too, right?
Paxton, Bill Sadler, Ice Cube, Ice-T. It's the Bills versus the Ices.
That's bizarre. Is it good?
You know what? I like it. I think it's cuckoo, and I don't know. I think it's fun. It's the same level of fatalism of this movie, but appropriate because everyone there is a fucking scumbag and deserves to go down.
That's fair. I guess that's the question about Johnny Handsome. Does Johnny Handsome ultimately get what he deserves?
If that's the path to get it, then yeah. If there was nothing more important than making sure that Rafe and Sonny had a bullet in them, then yeah, bravo. It does seem to me like he could have done that shit at any time.
Yeah. I mean, they were in the car at one point, like pretty unassuming. He could have just bam, shot
Absolutely.
him.
How about in the fucking garage when they were rendezvousing and he thought Sonny was part of his plan? By the way, that scene, he and Sonny, there's a switcheroo where they convince Rafe that they've put the suitcase into his car, but they've kept the suitcase. And then they get into a car and drive away. And then the next thing we see is Sonny arriving in a cab. What happened there?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah. I have no fucking clue, man. Like I said, this movie just all of a sudden in the third act is just like, we're going to complicate things, but we're not actually going to like attempt to give a shit about doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, ultimately the character putting a gun on top of the money and going, this will be fine is just,
like he knew he was going to get to a point where he was going to have to do that. He was going to get the shit kicked. Like what? There's no nobility to it.
No, it's just him acting like a ding dong.
Right. Like, and they try and stack the deck a little there because they have the girl. So he's got to like do it to save the girl. Right. But no, he already made the decision. He already told her to fuck off. Like she's just a complication now. There's no nobility in anything he does here. He's just a kill crazy madman.
Well, and the sad thing is that's not the character Mickey Rourke is portraying at all.
No, there's a soul in there that we didn't get to see wither away. We just got to see a guy just do exactly what the fucking naysaying doomsayer of the movie, Morgan Freeman, has been
crowing about the whole movie. It's and like that's the thing ultimately about this movie. It's like the things and the places that the movie goes could have been interesting, should have been interesting, and it honestly feels like the movie forgot to make them interesting.
It certainly didn't care at the end. It was like, we're gonna do what we're doing, and then here we go.
Yeah.
Bang.
And Lance Henriksen, it just, yikes. Yeah, man, a copy of a copy of a copy is probably a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, and the really sad thing is like they instead of just sidelining him as the sidekick to Sonny, which he clearly is in the movie. I mean,
right.
Just make Ellen Barkin the fucking lead character there and Rafe be her sidekick.
And that could have been really interesting. Like, give us a little bit of that, like a strong female villain in the late 80s, early 90s in a movie with this cast. Like, come on. Why not?
It is what they gave us. It's just that clearly wasn't their intention. It's just that Ellen Barkin overwhelmed everything.
Right. It's not like Sigourney Weaver in Alien where it's like, that was the intention, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
This is just what happened because you have Ellen Barkin in your movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's, man. Yeah, just, I honestly, I'm always bummed out by movies that are missed opportunities more than anything else. Like, they always bum me out so much more than just a bad movie.
Oh, I hear you. But I still recommend this movie.
I get it. I mean, look, it's an hour and a half, so at least there's that. I mean, it is an hour and a half, so it is, you can watch it and be done, and it's not a 3-hour slog.
No, this movie isn't a waste of time. This movie is a good movie with missed opportunities to become a great movie.
Yeah. Yeah. If anything, it's just wasting the time of the actors because they could have been given something more interesting to do.
Correct. Nevertheless, all good to watch. It's all the performances here are fucking startlingly good as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And setting it in New Orleans, I think is smart. They get a lot of mileage out of the city being, I don't know. I mean, you just have New Orleans. There's just something about New Orleans that you just don't have to pay for. You just get it for free by being there.
Yeah. And evidently, so that bar, it was a set, right? So they purchased this corner building and turned it into a bar, right?
Right.
And when they were leaving production, when they were wrapping up, a guy bought it as is and just opened it as a bar.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't you like to have a drink there?
Kinda, yeah. I've been trying to track it down. I can't find anything, but I read that story. I was like, well, that's cool. The Johnny Handsome bar.
I just like to think that Lance Henriksen is there attempting poorly to open a briefcase with a knife.
Yeah, well, that's a daily grind for Mr. Henriksen, apparently.
That's one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie is him just flicking at the thing on the suitcase with his knife. Like, you ineffectual moron.
With the tip of a blade. Sure.
I know. Yeah. God.
Working.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
No.
So, Father Malone, final thoughts on Johnny Handsome.
It's a troubled film, nevertheless a worthy one. This is pretty much what could be considered for a while the last really good Mickey Rourke movie.
Wow, that's right. Yeah.
As I said, I think it's a good movie. I like the source material a tremendous amount. I love all the performances in here. Once again, Mickey Rourke, like 1980s Mickey Rourke. I love Mickey Rourke now. I loved him in the 90s too. I love all of his iterations, but this young, beautiful man here in this movie, this is the last we're going to see of him. And it's a Walter Hill movie, and it's a Walter Hill movie which, if you eschew the problems of not resolving our lead character stuff, it's a fun film. Like, it doesn't, it's worth your time. Yeah, I'll just say that. This is a worth your time just for the soundtrack, man. We didn't even really get into Ry Cooder and his genius, but like it's a good sounding movie. It's a great looking movie. Watch Johnny Handsome.
I'll agree with most of what you've said. You know, like you kind of mentioned, there's a lot of really positive things here. Mickey Rourke, again, just showing why anytime he gets brought up, people go, he's kind of like Brando. It's like, yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, he has this weird gravitas and energy that most actors don't have anymore. And he tried to beat it out of himself, and it's still there. It's still there. I mean, it's just, you're not getting the roles to him anymore that they could be benefiting his abilities. He's just not getting those roles anymore because of any number of things, including but not limited to the things that he did, the movies that he made, and also, again, how fickle the fucking industry is with people. You know, there's no saying that 5 years from now there won't be some Mickey Rourke renaissance, because holy shit, I would have told you 5 years ago Brendan Fraser has an Oscar. I would have told you you're fucking nuts. So, not because Brendan Fraser's not a good actor, but because the industry doesn't reward the people that deserve it. It often rewards the people that feel privileged enough to say that they deserve it. So Mickey Rourke is
almost got an Academy Award from the same director.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, man, Aronofsky.
Fucking A, man.
Every actor out there, if Darren Aronofsky calls you, say yes.
Yeah, for fucking real. Like that, you know, as much as I maybe have my own qualms with Aronofsky, like if you're going to work with him on a project where it's like a character study, bro, like even I'll be like, hell yeah, you better do it. Cause there is nobody better for that application in terms of like a character study of a deeply flawed character. So yeah, no, I'm excited to see, you know, we kind of programmed a little bit more Mickey Rourke stuff for the rest of the month.
Bob Dylan, poet laureate, voice of a generation, loves Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. I got that.
Man, I like that movie. You imagine him talking about it? Like,
want to be in that conversation.
Yeah. I really like Mickey Rourke. That's a terrible Bob Dylan. It's like a street corner Bob Dylan begging for pennies in Vegas Dylan.
Is that you riding the bike and all those scenes? It look really also looks really good in a cowboy hat. What gauge hat do you think that was?
Is that Cate Blanchett as Bob Dylan?
Thank you for recognizing it.
You're welcome. You're oddly specific, I know, but oh man. Speaking of music, Father Malone, where can people find you when you're not here joining me talking about movies?
You can catch me co-hosting Noise Junkies. It's a music podcast over on weirdingwaymedia.com, where you can also find Midnight Viewing, the Night Gallery podcast. That's a podcast I host with Mr. Stachiw here and our friend in Detroit, Mr. Mike White. Weirding Way Media, everybody go there.
The end.
And
demo. weirdingwaymedia.com is the podcast network for people who like good things. Good things being things worth listening to, like Night Mr. Walters, Noise Junkies, The Projection Booth, Rankin' on Bass, new projects upcoming that I can't talk about yet, but those are places that you can find them. weirdingwaymedia.com. As for this show, Kulturecast.com, Patreon.com, 10, 20, and 50. Those are the levels you can get in at, but like, rate, and review the show wherever you get it, more than likely iTunes. Yay. Engagement, folks. Do it, please. It helps. I promise. It's the least you can do for the least amount of money. or the most you could do for the least amount of money. However the fuck you want to view it, just do it. Just rate, review, and like the show, or smash that like button, as they're saying.
Hey, guys.
God, man, cow in the morning.
Ooh.
Father Malone, thank you so much for joining me. This was fun.
My pleasure. Any chance I get to talk about Mickey Rourke, I'm always going to engage. Let's do it again soon and talk about Harley Davidson at the Marlboro Man.
Yeah, we'll catch you on the next episode.